As the days rolled by, I saw myself transform. I was still Ava, the girl who loved astrophysics and cherished her iguana, but there was a newfound strength within me. I stood in front of the mirror each morning, staring at the girl reflected back, surprised by the determination and resilience shining in her eyes. In the school corridors, whispers gradually changed their tone. From dismissive smirks and skeptical glances, there were now nods of appreciation and whispers of admiration. Students I barely knew approached me with stories of their struggles, their experiences with bullying. Each story, each confession, fueled my resolve to continue my campaign. One day, after an intense discussion in the library, Lucy pulled me aside, her face etched with worry. "Are you sure about this, Ava?" she asked, her hand gripping my arm. "You're up against a lot." I looked at her, my best friend who had been by my side through every triumph and failure, her concern a testament to her care for me. I reached out, squeezing her hand in assurance. "I've never been sure about anything, Luce," I replied, my voice filled with determination. I was no longer just a prom queen candidate. I was a symbol of resilience, a beacon of hope for those who felt unheard, unappreciated. This campaign wasn't about a crown anymore, it was a fight against discrimination, against the unspoken hierarchy that had plagued our school for years. Every flyer distributed, every speech delivered, every conversation held was a step towards a more inclusive, understanding Silver Creek High. We were not just campaigning for prom, we were campaigning for change, and I was at the helm, leading my army of misfits. I was their voice, their warrior. The day of the prom was a spectacle of nervous excitement. Girls fretting over their dresses, boys practicing their dance steps, and me, sitting quietly in my room, contemplating the whirlwind of events that had led me here. Swapping my usual attire of jeans and t-shirts, I chose an elegant dress, simple and comfortable, paired with modest heels. It was a concession to the event, not to peer pressure. I was still Ava, just Ava in a dress. When my mother saw me, her eyes welled up. "You look beautiful, Ava," she said, her voice choked. I hugged her tight, grateful for her unwavering support. She was my rock amidst this storm. As I walked into the school gymnasium, transformed into a fairy tale ballroom, the din of conversation dimmed. A sea of faces turned towards me, eyes wide in surprise. I had cleaned up well, it seemed. My heart pounded against my ribs as I made my way towards my friends. There, amidst the flashing lights and the decorative drapes, I saw her, Kelly, the cheerleading captain. She sneered at me, her eyes gleaming with a cruel amusement. I didn't falter. Instead, I smiled back, my resolve as unshakable as ever. As the night unfolded, I danced, laughed, and enjoyed myself. Every smile, every cheer was a testament to how far we had come. I saw acceptance where there had been prejudice, understanding where there had been scorn. No matter how the night ended, we had already achieved more than I'd imagined. We had started a dialogue, a movement towards a kinder, more accepting school culture. As the time for the prom queen announcement neared, my heart pounded harder. Standing amidst the sea of students, I looked around. Here we were, not jocks, nerds, or cheerleaders, but just teenagers, all of us trying to find our footing in this crazy, convoluted world. And that was my victory. As the drumroll reverberated through the hall, the chattering crowd fell into a hushed silence. I stood amidst my classmates, my heart pounding with anticipation and a sense of peace. The crown was not my ultimate goal, the change I had witnessed over the past few weeks was victory enough. Mr. Johnson, our school principal, took the stage, a sealed envelope in his hand. His usually stern face was lit up with an unusual excitement. "And our prom queen is..." He paused, drawing out the suspense. I closed my eyes, took a deep breath, and reminded myself that no matter what happened, I was proud. Proud of the conversations we started, the barriers we broke, and the empathy we cultivated. Ava Brooks, he announced, his voice booming through the microphone. A stunned silence engulfed the hall. I stood frozen, my brain struggling to process his words. Ava Brooks, the geek, the misfit, was the prom queen. I stepped forward, my legs shaky. As I climbed onto the stage, a deafening cheer erupted. I looked out into the crowd, at their cheering faces, their clapping hands, and I realized something profound. It wasn't a crown they were cheering for, it was the symbol it represented. It was a victory for all those who'd ever felt unseen, unheard, unimportant. Lucy rushed towards me, her face gleaming with joy, her eyes filled with tears. She hugged me tightly as Mr. Johnson placed the tiara on my head. I smiled, looking out at my classmates. My heart was bursting with gratitude and pride. I didn't win this crown, I said, my voice steady and clear, echoing through the hall. We did. Each one of us. This is a victory for every person who's ever felt like they didn't fit in, who's ever felt left out. This is our victory. Cheers erupted again, louder and longer this time. The misfits had triumphed. The prank had come full circle, transforming into a beacon of change, a symbol of acceptance. And I, Ava Brooks, was the face of that change. The morning after the prom, Silver Creek High School had a different air to it. There was a new rhythm in its heartbeat, a newfound acceptance in its veins. As I walked through its corridors, students greeted me with smiles and nods, their eyes reflecting a newfound respect. Lucy, who'd always been my rock, ran up to me, a giant grin plastered across her face. You did it, Ava, she exclaimed, enveloping me in a hug. I didn't do it, Luce. We did it, I corrected her, hugging her back. We were in this together, all of us. As I approached my locker, I saw a crowd gathered around it. Heart pounding, I pushed through, expecting another round of graffiti. But there, taped on my locker door, were dozens of notes, colorful post-its with words of gratitude, admiration, and support. I stood there, my heart swelling with a myriad of emotions. Later, in the school cafeteria, I sat with a group of students, each from different cliques, different walks of school life. We weren't divided by popularity or interests anymore. We were just students, talking, laughing, and sharing. The atmosphere in Silver Creek High was not the only thing that had changed, I had changed too. I was still Ava, the astronomy enthusiast with a love for Newton's works. But now, I was also Ava, the prom queen, the one who stood up against the status quo, who sparked a change. The shy, introverted girl had found a voice, a strength she never knew she possessed. Looking back, I realized that the prank nomination, which was meant to break me, had instead built me. It built us, as a school, as a community. And for that, I was forever grateful. So, as I stood there, amidst my peers, a newfound respect for each of us in my heart, I realized this was just the beginning. A new dawn had broken at Silver Creek High, a dawn where every student had a voice, where every student mattered. And I was proud, honored, to have been a part of ushering in this new day.